The good news when learning the vocab for Sumo's twisting techniques is that we can draw upon words we already know. If you've seen the video on throws, link above, you will know the spelling of these techniques: uwate nage, shitate nage, kubi nage, and kote nage. Simply replace the word for throw, nage, with that for twist, hineri, and you've learned 4 twisting moves. Visually, the difference between the two is, with a nage you throw across your body, but with a hineri you throw away from your body. So this is uwate hineri with the overarm twist. This is shitate hineri with the underarm twist. This is kubi hineri, the neck twist. With kubi nage, he'd have thrown leftwards instead of right, as he looks. And kote hineri, the forearm twist, seen just 13 times in 5 years, I actually have no footage of. So just remember, with kote nage, you throw like this. With kote hineri, you throw in the other direction. The word hineri also appears in 3 other techniques. The kaina of kaina hineri is the old word for arm, and used to refer to the upper arm before its meaning was widened. To execute, grab your foe's arm with both hands and throw. And although you've technically thrown across your body, it's still a hineri because your outer arm is throwing outwards. The technique for the cameras is zubuneri, where you plant your head underneath a foe's chest and twist your neck and arm in tandem to throw. Here, the word buneri is a corruption of hineri. The spelling is the same. Finally, gassho hineri, seen just once since 2016, uses the word gassho, hands clasped in prayer, to roughly describe the shape in which you lock your hands behind a foe's back to throw. One of your arms should be over his shoulder, the other inside the opposite armpit. 2 twisting techniques are described with nage. Harima nage, spelt with the words for wave and separation, is apparently so called because the loser comes down like a breaking wave. The winner reaches over the top for an outside grip on the opposite side of the foe's body, then throws him behind his back. Tokkuri nage derives its name from an earthenware sake bottle. You tip your foe's head sideways with both hands, as if pouring from a tokkuri. The other twisting techniques have more varied names. Tottari involves applying both hands to an opponent's arm and pulling the man to ground in front of you. The move apparently takes its name from traditional Japanese theatre, when the policeman seizes the villain and turns him head over heels. Sakatottari, which adds the character for reverse, is indeed the tottari reversal, where you resist with the grabbed arm, then use your free hand to tug your foe's attacking arm. The technique of katasukashi sees a wrestler exploit a gap underneath the armpit to swing his foe to ground, slapping the shoulder blade with the free hand. The Japanese seems to be a play on words. Kata is the character for shoulder, sukasu means create space or leave a gap, and the phrase katasukashi o kuwaseru means to dodge or sidestep. Uchimuso and sotomuso are the words to describe an attack on the thigh. Uchimuso, starting with the character for inside, describes an attack on the inner thigh, either hand to either leg, while you clinch or grip with the other hand. Sotomuso, starting with the character for outside, is thus an attack on the outer thigh. The word muso refers to either someone who is peerless or an item of clothing or a tool made with the same material front and back, inside and out. Neither definition is obviously related to this move, so please let me check with a retired wrestler. The next two techniques come from the fishing industry. Amiuchi, which describes casting a net, actually, when deployed, rather resembles the drawing of a net ashore. You apply both hands to a foe's inside arm and throw behind you. Sabaori, meanwhile, involves driving downward with your double belt grip until your adversary ends up kneeling on the clay. His lower legs and back are at 90 degrees, as is the freshly caught mackerel with its head snapped to ensure bleeding out. Or sakate, spelt as big reverse hand, is when you reach over a foe's shoulder with a big gesture for an outside grip and throw in the reverse direction, essentially sending your throwing arm back from where it came. Finally, we have two easier techniques to remember. We learned the character for thrust in our basic techniques video. Tsukiotoshi, literally thrust and drop, is performed by thrusting on a downward diagonal into the side of the opponent's ribs and dropping him to the clay. Makiotoshi, meanwhile, is a wind and drop, whereby you wind your inner arm round a foe's torso and use their forward momentum against them in twisting them to the clay. And in case you were wondering, yes, this maki is the same word as found in makikae, literally wind and switch, describing the reversal of an inside grip.